Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. The Curse of Oak Island. The team shuts down operations at the swamp to focus on the money pit. This week on The Curse of Oak Island, the team has started their final preparations for the big dig that's coming their way in the next couple of weeks. And it's all hands on deck as the guys turn 100% of their focus on the money pit. Oak Island is just 2 weeks away from receiving delivery of at least 4 massive 10 feet wide steel caissons. These gigantic pieces of equipment will be drilled into the ground in the money pit area as part of what might be the most extensive excavation ever conducted on the island. And it seems as though the Lagina brothers will be throwing all their eggs into one basket with this dig, as last night they began calling a halt to other operations on the island. This will include ceasing work at the swamp. A few weeks ago, a huge digger, with an 80-foot reach, arrived on the island to much fanfare and great excitement, all in the hope of digging up an ancient ship, which the guys believe lies hidden in the swamp. Since then, Billy Gerhardt and the rest of the team have unearthed a plethora of wood artifacts, many of which have a nautical origin, but unfortunately, they've not found the ship. On last night's episode, Marty Lagina rather dramatically informed Billy, Gary Drayton, and a few of the others that they were to wrap up things at the swamp. Gary was both shocked and a little frustrated, but Marty explained that they needed the swamp's fresh water. Oak Island team needs fresh water to sort through money pit debris. Basically, the big dig at the money pit is going to pull up an awful lot of dirt and debris, which the guys will need to sort through and examine for artifacts. They will feed the debris into a wash plant where it will be cleaned, making examination easier. Unfortunately, they can only use fresh water for this, so they need to take it from the swamp, and they need to stop digging in the marshy land to allow the water level to rise again. The guys are throwing all they can at this dig, so they'll also need as many guys as possible to help out with sorting the debris at the money pit, so shutting down the swamp is also a way to free up valuable human resources. Viewers can expect this to be a temporary measure. The swamp will return. The guys have been full of praise for the swamp over the last year, because every time they look there, they find something, from mysterious stone roadways to a ship's wharf and a ship's railings. Marty Lagina believes they've hit a flood tunnel at the money pit. In the meantime, Marty thinks the team has found a flood tunnel at the money pit. In the last couple of weeks, the drill team has twice hit a cavity, and this week, they hit a large quantity of water a mere 2 feet away from that cavity. Marty reckons that the cavity is unfortunately not an offset chamber as previously suspected, but a little pocket of air in a flood tunnel. The discovery of eelgrass last week bolsters his theory, as it's known that the grass was used alongside coconut fibers to act as a filter on flood tunnels at Smith's Cove. If they have found a flood tunnel, the guys will need to find a way to block it off. Otherwise, all their work for the big dig could be completely ruined. The sun rose over Oak Island, casting long shadows over the enigmatic landscape that had captured the imaginations of treasure hunters for centuries. The air was thick with anticipation as the team prepared to shift their focus from the swamp to the legendary money pit. The swamp had yielded tantalizing clues, but now it was time to concentrate on the site that had always been at the heart of the mystery. Rick and Marty Lagina, the brothers who had become the faces of the Oak Island quest, stood together at the edge of the swamp. They had spent countless hours here, uncovering artifacts and trying to decipher the island's secrets. Yet despite their efforts, the swamp continued to guard its secrets closely. It was a bittersweet moment as they decided to halt operations in this area. "It's the right move," Rick said, his voice tinged with both determination and resignation. "We've found enough here to suggest there's more, but it's not giving us everything we need." "The money pit calls." Marty nodded in agreement, his eyes scanning the horizon. "The swamp has given us some pieces of the puzzle, but the money pit might just hold the key to solving it all. Let's make this count." The rest of the team, including archaeologist Laird Niven, historian Doug Crowell, and metal detection expert Gary Drayton, gathered for a final meeting by the swamp. They reviewed the significant discoveries made in the murky waters: fragments of wood that predated European settlement, mysterious metal objects, and even the remains of the ship's wharf. Each find had raised more questions than answers, fueling the decision to pivot their efforts. As they packed up their equipment, a sense of renewed purpose filled the air. The Money Pit had always been the primary focus, the legendary site where treasure was rumored to be buried deep underground. Over the years, countless expeditions had tried and failed to retrieve its hidden riches, falling victim to the island's treacherous conditions and elaborate booby traps. Rick and Marty led the way to the Money Pit, their steps crunching on the gravel path that snaked through the island's dense foliage. The pit, shrouded in mystery and danger, loomed ahead. It was a daunting sight, a reminder of the many who had come before them, and the obstacles that awaited. The team set up their base of operations with military precision. Excavators roared to life, and drilling rigs were positioned to begin the arduous task of penetrating the depths of the pit. The goal was to reach the fabled treasure shaft, a feat that had eluded so many. Spirits were high, buoyed by the hope that they might finally break the island's curse. Marty gathered the team for a briefing. "We've got a solid plan. We'll start with a new borehole here." He pointed to a spot on the detailed map spread out before them, "and follow it down. This area aligns with our most recent seismic data and the historical accounts we've gathered." Laird, ever the meticulous archaeologist, reminded everyone of the need for caution. "We must document everything. The slightest artifact could provide crucial information. We're not just looking for treasure, but for answers to a mystery that's endured for over 2 centuries." As the drilling began, the air was thick with tension. The sound of metal biting into earth echoed through the clearing, a rhythmic reminder of their endeavor. Hours turned into days, and the team's perseverance was tested. They encountered layers of dense clay, rock, and water-filled caverns, each one a potential clue or a deadly trap. One afternoon, the drill bit hit something hard, and the machinery came to a sudden halt. The team rushed to inspect the obstruction. Gary's metal detector confirmed what they had all hoped for: metallic objects were embedded deep within the earth. Could this be the long-sought-after treasure, or merely another decoy? Excitement buzzed through the team as they carefully extracted a section of the core sample. Within the layers of soil and rock, they uncovered a piece of rusted iron, clearly ancient and hand-forged. It was a significant find, suggesting they were on the right track. Spirits soared and the pace of work intensified. As days turned into weeks, the team uncovered more artifacts: old wooden beams, fragments of pottery, and even a few gold coins. Each discovery was a piece of the puzzle, shedding light on the island's history and the people who had once sought to conceal their riches here. But with each find came more questions. Who had built the Money Pit? Why had they gone to such lengths to hide their treasure? And what perils still lay ahead? The team knew they were getting closer, but the island was not ready to surrender its secrets easily. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting an orange glow over the site, a sudden tremor shook the ground. The team froze, eyes wide with alarm. The vibrations grew stronger, and a low rumble filled the air. The ground beneath the Money Pit began to collapse, sending clouds of dust and debris into the sky. "Everyone back!" Rick shouted, his voice barely audible over the din. The team scrambled to safety as the earth continued to give way, swallowing their equipment and filling the air with an acrid smell of disturbed earth and ancient decay. When the dust settled, Money Pit had transformed into a yawning chasm. The collapse had exposed new tunnels and chambers, some lined with decayed timbers and others filled with water that shimmered eerily in the fading light. The team approached the edge cautiously, peering into the depths. "It's like the island is alive," Doug said, his voice a mix of awe and trepidation. "It's protecting its secrets." Rick and Marty exchanged a determined look. The setback was significant, but it only strengthened their resolve. They would adapt, overcome, and continue their quest. The curse of Oak Island had claimed many, but it would not claim them. As night fell, the team gathered around a campfire, the flickering flames casting long shadows. They shared stories, theories, and hopes, their camaraderie unshaken by the day's events. They knew that the road ahead would be fraught with challenges, but they were united in their purpose. The money pit had called to them, and they would answer, delving deeper into the mystery that had consumed them for so long. The curse of Oak Island was a formidable foe, but the team was more determined than ever. They would uncover the truth, no matter the cost. And as the stars twinkled above, one thing was certain: the legend of Oak Island was far from over.